This was a movie I completely wrote off when it first released, but I stumbled upon it recently and I decided to give it a chance. Who knows, maybe it'll be worth it. I mean, the movie's racked up over $5 million on a budget of 100,000. That's gotta mean something, right? Is there honey in this? So Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is a British independent horror slasher film, written and directed by Rhys Frake Waterfield. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It partially follows Christopher Robin as he's visiting his old friends, Pooh, Piglet, Owl, Rabbit, Eeyore, in hopes of reuniting with them. But the problem is, he stopped visiting them in general and stopped bringing them food after leaving for college. Now, it's been 5 years since then, and they've gone through some extreme winters, which has caused them to starve and ultimately go full cannibal on each other, leaving the remaining survivors traumatized and developing a hatred towards people, especially Christopher Robin. So maybe trying to visit them isn't such a great idea. Now, on the other hand, the movie also follows a small group of friends from college who rent a cabin nearby, but they're not going to have quite the vacation they hope for, as Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are out for blood. Now, as I was watching this movie, I kept thinking to myself,
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
because what the actual hell is this movie? Not only is the concept questionable, but the execution, man, ouch. First off, not a single character stood out. There's not a single character you actually care about. In fact, the character you end up caring the least about is Christopher Robin himself.
Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, we were friends for many years, and they're out there.
Everyone here was just bland, and nothing good about them is convincing. Now, one of the girls in this group has just PTSD from dealing with a stalker, which is why they're vacationing in this cabin anyway. I mean, her therapist recommended it to her.
We need to go. Laura's dead. There's someone else outside.
And two of the girls were a couple, but I've seen better chemistry while flushing the toilet. And I'm not even sure what I mean by that. Also, the characters are just
Dumb.
moments where they're being chased and they have to hide, but at full volume, they say to each other, "We need to be quiet. We need."
Okay.
And then they'd hide behind like a chair, like 2 feet away from Winnie or Piglet. It all just played out so ridiculously. Now, this movie does try to push its gore, and as always, I'll give it credit where credit is due. The movie does offer some decent kills. Nothing groundbreaking, but still entertaining enough to thrill any horror fan. In fact, where the movie is at its best is when Pooh and Piglet are just going full massacre mode on people. It's actually quite terrifying at times. And there are some decent moments of suspense too. Unfortunately, none of those things are enough. The bad just outweighs the good on this one. And I could sort of see that the actors and the people on the creative side were dedicated to this project. I mean, at least to some extent. And they wanted to create something unique with this twist on a classic character. But when it works, it works. But when it doesn't, it doesn't. Now, I can't blame the actors for signing on to something they maybe thought would be better. And I can't blame the creators for being ambitious enough to take a chance either. It kind of really just falls on the writer and director of this movie. Like I mentioned before, the concept alone is questionable. But the biggest issue here isn't even the Winnie the Pooh aspect either. The biggest issue here is that you have a movie with zero substance. No real premise, no real character development. They want you to care about these characters, but you just don't. A few good suspenseful moments and a few good kills just isn't enough sometimes. Now, considering the financial success this movie has gained, I'm sure a sequel is inevitable. And honestly, I'm not even mad about it. Just please, pull Terrifier and be better than the first. Because Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey gets a 2.5 out of 10. So did you catch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey when it first released? Or did you wait to watch it later on like me? How would you rank it? Let me know down below. As always, your time is appreciated, and I'll catch you on the next one. Whoa, I don't know what I'm doing. My life in a nutshell.